You are watching Sammy, the Interviewing Toucan, made possible by the Indiana Young Readers Center. Hey, everybody. I'm Sammy, the Interviewing Toucan, and I'm here today with Professor Watermelon. Hey, Professor Watermelon, how are you today?
I'm great, Sammy. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited about our time together today.
Me too. It's great to see you too. We've seen each other before, but it's been a long time, you
A
know?
super long time.
Yeah. So I'm just going to dive right into our interview because I know we're going to have so much to talk about. So let's start. Tell us about yourself and tell us about your connection to Indiana.
Well, my name is Professor Watermelon. And Sammy, you probably know this story already, but for everyone that's watching today, I would like to tell them how I got the name Professor Watermelon.
Works for
Well,
me.
a long time ago in a faraway land called Indianapolis. Not very far away, huh? There was a baby born. That baby was me. And I was born at Methodist Hospital, right downtown Indianapolis. My mom and my dad wanted to give me a very important sounding name. So they named me Chadwick Justin Gillenwater. They thought that I might grow up to be the president of the United States or something like that. Well, I didn't. But I did go to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and then off to a place called college. Franklin College, as a matter of fact. That's in Indiana too.
Hmm.
Yep. And then I moved to a very far away land called Seattle, Washington, where I became a school librarian. And all of my students, they called me Mr. Gillenwater, of course, because
Because
that's my
that's your
name.
name.
That's right. Except one girl. She called me Mr. Watermelon. She ran into the library one morning and said, Mr. Watermelon, I mean Gillenwater. And I said, is that what you guys are calling me out on the playground? Do you think my last name is funny? Mm-hmm. And I said, that's okay because I think my last name is funny too. And when I started writing books for kids, I decided I'm not going to be Mr. Watermelon. I'm not going to be Mr. Gillenwater. I'm going to be Professor Watermelon. And then I started wearing fun bow ties.
Ooh, that's so great. So you gave yourself an honorary degree, huh?
I did.
Well,
Why not?
if you could do it, why not? Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we need to give you an honorary degree, Sammy the Toucan. As
I
a matter of fact,
accept.
I am going to give you an honorary degree right now.
Oh
An
my gosh.
yes, a degree in toucanology.
Oh, I love it. I think
Yes,
that's so great. I deserve it, you
you
know?
do deserve
It's an
it.
actual thing. Oh gosh. Well, enough about me though. So let's talk about your writing a little bit. I've got one of your books here. This is Herbert, and you've written a few. So just tell us, share a little bit about your writing and what you write, and maybe a little bit about what you do as Professor Watermelon.
Yes, well, the book Herbert is about a fly who makes honey.
Hmm.
Flies don't usually make honey. And that's something we do as authors. We like to find something ordinary, like a fly, and then turn it into something extraordinary, like a fly who makes honey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Herbert has to figure out where he belongs. Sammy, where do you think a fly who makes honey would want to live?
Oh gosh. Well, if I was a bee and I was going to make honey, I would want to live among flowers. But if I was a fly, that's a challenge. Where
Well,
did you end
he
up putting him?
Well, he decides that he wants to live with the bees at the beehive, but all stories have a problem. And in
Yeah.
this story, the queen bee does not want a fly in her hive.
Huh.
Yep, there's
You,
the struggle.
I
As a matter
I have thoughts
of
about this queen.
no, do you?
Yeah. Do
Well,
toucans eat bees? Maybe I could.
oh, now I
Sorry.
know. Sammy, I think we need to put you in the sequel.
Oh gosh. Well, I accept that too. That sounds great.
You're a doctor of toucanology and you are going to be famous in a new book. How about that?
But really, like, why is the queen so mad about Herbert? Herbert's just trying to be himself.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people struggle with in their lives. They struggle with fitting in, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes they find opposition with that because there's a lot of people or queen bees that want to keep things the same, the way that they've always been. right?
Right.
But that's just not how life works, is it?
Right.
Sometimes things need to change, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you've written this book, you've written a
Mhm.
couple of others. Can you tell us where are you at in your author journey and where do you hope to be someday? Oh, and let's circle back. Tell us about what Professor Watermelon does.
Oh, yes. As Professor Watermelon, I love to travel to schools or do Zoom visits like this.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing to do is to help children find that their imagination is brilliant already. Nothing needs to change about that. Their imagination is already brilliant. And then help children figure out how to take what's up here in their imagination and put it on paper or put it in a computer somewhere so that it's recorded, so that they can record their brilliance. And toucans, I believe, have some brilliance too up there in their imagination, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, without imagination, I wouldn't even be here.
That's
That's a
true.
fact.
That is a
It's an
fact.
actual fact.
Absolutely. So that's what I do as Professor Watermelon. I help kids create their own stories, create their own worlds, create their own magic, if you will.
So I'm guessing that you are kind of an advocate for writing and also reading, maybe. I mean, I feel like sometimes people's imaginations really does need a little bit of a jump start, and I feel like reading can provide that.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Sammy. That's one of the great pieces of advice I think any writer would give someone who wants to be a writer is to read and read some more and then read even more after that. Because once you get a feel for how words work and how the rhythm of the words go when they're put together, you become a better writer. And you also are able to see how stories are put together. The more you read, the more you know, right?
Yeah, but then, after you've had a great time reading all summer, it's time to put pen to the paper, right? Or fingers to the keyboard and get
Or
writing.
feathers to the keyboard, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I think I'd have to learn how to do it with my beak, I'd have
Oh,
to hunt and peck.
you're funny, Sammy.
I know. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Oh yeah, where are you hoping to be in your journey? Like, where are you? Where do you want to go?
The great thing about my life is that I feel very, very happy right where I am. However, I am always ready for something new and exciting to come my way. So I'm going to keep writing. And as my journey continues, hopefully new and exciting things happen. And I will always be open to those. Where I want to see myself is in more schools, meeting more kids, helping them become the writers that they want to be.
And you probably wouldn't say no to a movie contract for Herbert here, huh?
Oh, probably not.
You're just open to that.
I'm open to it.
Well, but you heard it here. Professor Watermelon is ready to do school visits whenever those can happen. But currently we're living through a pandemic right now. So how have you been doing with the pandemic?
Well, I have learned a lot during this pandemic. I've learned how to use Zoom, like we're using right now, and other virtual meeting spaces. And I've learned that I can still do a lot of what I love from home. And I probably wouldn't have known that before the pandemic. I've also learned how important it is to stay connected with people and birds because we are all social and we need the connection of others. So, and that would be my advice for anyone that is going through the struggle with us is to make sure to stay connected with those that you love and that friendships and relationships can still blossom and bloom even though we might not be able to see each other face to face.
Yeah, you mentioned struggles, and I just thought about our current events and current things that are happening out in the news right now. It seems like people of color are really, they've been going through struggles for years and years and years, and now we have the Black Lives Matter movement, which I think is really important to talk about and to acknowledge. And I just think I think it's important that we keep moving forward with this.
I do too, Sammy, and I'm glad that you brought that up. As Professor Watermelon, I also believe that Black Lives Matter. And I also think it's very important for us to read books that people of color have written, because the more books that we read, the more we understand the struggles of fellow human beings that are also on this planet. Does that make
Absolutely. And,
sense?
maybe we can introduce people to this concept that there's something called Own Voices, OWN Voices. And those are books written about, certain folks told by people that have those traits. So if I was going to write a book about a toucan, that would be an own voice, But if you were going to write a book about a toucan, well, you'd have to really do your research first. Am I
I
right?
would have to, absolutely, Sammy. I would have to talk to you, and I'd have to try my hardest to understand your perspective. And I think that's what this is all about, is trying to understand the perspective of other people and other birds,
Yep.
right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thanks for that. And let's go ahead. I'm asking all my authors to share a little something. Do you have a little something there that you want to share with
Mhm.
our viewers?
Absolutely. Today, I brought with me this interesting thing right here. It's called a gavel. All right.
Yeah.
It's ordinary. There's nothing really extraordinary about this gavel.
I mean, it
A
looks well
gavel,
made, but
well, yeah, it is. It is. I think it's made of oak. Yes,
nice.
nice, nice oak,
Nice solid
and
gavel.
a nice solid gavel. I probably shouldn't bang on anything with it because it is pretty solid and it might hurt the computer screen here.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that, right? However, it's ordinary. You can find these anywhere, especially in a courtroom or at any kind of meeting that you might go to where people want to keep order, right? Order in the court.
Yeah.
So there's something ordinary. This is what we can do with our imaginations. We can find anything ordinary and pair it with something else that is ordinary, like a frog. Now, this frog is kind of extraordinary already because it has a crown on its head. So it's already giving you some extraordinary ideas. But when you put two ordinary things and you feed it to your imagination, your idea generator, your imagination is already brilliant. And it's going to put these two things together in a very, very creative way. For example, what if, there's that magic word.
That
Two
is a
magic
magic word. Let's just say that together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What
words. What if?
if? It's
Yes,
hard to
what
do
if?
that on Zoom. What
I
if?
know. What if? So, what if a frog was a judge?
Yeah. You
Could there be
know,
a story there?
I think so. I think so. Or what if a what if a gavel came to life and he was in the judge's court, and the judge is a frog, and he had this really complicated case having to do with flies and maybe like some land in a swamp, and he had a witness that maybe he was in love with his witness, and all of a sudden the gavel came to life and started like knocking on things, and and there was pandemonium. What would happen?
Wow, Sammy, you have quite the imagination. I am super, super excited about that. I want to know where that story goes. So I think you need to hunt and peck on your computer screen and write that story down.
Okay, if I
You
do,
know
I'll send
why?
it. Why?
Because if you don't write it down, guess what's going to happen, Sammy?
It's gonna disappear. It won't
It's
be a
going to
thing.
disappear. You'll
Yeah,
forget it.
yeah.
Right.
So let's encourage all of our viewers to write and to listen to each other and to read voices of own voice literature, people of color, Black Lives Matter. There's all sorts of voices out there that we could read that are outside of our own spectrum, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, we're all family, aren't we?
that's true. We're all living on this earth together.
We're together.
Absolutely. Well, gosh, it's been so great talking to you. I really appreciate the interview, and you have a great day, okay?
You too, Sammy.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.